In the 1980, there was a famous philosophy paper in Western philosophy. There was a famous paper. It was called as Chinese room argument. Listen to it carefully, otherwise you will get confused. It was called Chinese room argument. A philosopher gave an argument for something. The argument was like this. You are sitting inside a room, okay, and you have a catalog with you, and you don't know Chinese. The catalog is in Chinese. There are two columns there. Chinese symbols on left hand side. For you there are symbols. You don't understand them. The symbols on one side and some other symbols on the other side. Meaning its meaning in Chinese. Chinese to Chinese dictionary. You are holding in your hand. What happens is, from a window of that room, one man, somebody from the outside, they will give a chit. In that chit, some symbol will be written, Chinese symbol. What your work is, you will have to find in the left hand side the meaning matching symbol, and then what is matching on the right hand side. So write it down in a piece of slip and give to the other window. You will go on doing it. Initially, it may take you a long time to even find matching symbol for one. You may take a long time because you have to match symbol. No? It's not even ordered. You don't know what is the order. Alphabetically, in English it's alphabetically ordered. Here you don't know what the order is. So you are doing it efficiently. Slowly you will become efficient and efficient and efficient. Because you will start remembering the symbol so well that you will know when a symbol comes, okay, it is in this page. You will remember. And you will give it very fast. You will become very efficient. The moment it is given, you will know which page it is in. You have done it for many years now. Many years you are doing. So you will start doing it in a few minutes. You will give the meaning. Does it mean you have understood Chinese? No. This is precisely what happens always with us, everywhere. We don't realize this. What is consciousness? Awareness. What is Jivatma? Soul. You are just giving one word and a matching word from somewhere else. You don't know what both mean. Are you following me? Yes. For example, Einstein. I am telling Einstein's example because if I say Patanjali, nobody will listen to me. So if I say Newton and Einstein, everybody will listen. That's why I am saying Einstein. Have you heard of this word called photon? Yeah. In physics? Yeah. That photoelectric effect was proposed by Einstein. For that only he got Nobel Prize. Einstein got Nobel Prize not for relativity theory, he got Nobel Prize for this photoelectric effect. So it was published in 1905 or something.
1905.
Okay. And after that, he did not use the word photon as such. Somebody else coined that word for that concept he used, and then that concept became popular. Everybody started using that word everywhere. Photon. What is photon? Photon is packet of energy, something like that. After 40 years or so, Einstein gave out a statement somewhere. He said, it has been 40 years since I published my first paper on photons. Till now I don't understand what photon really is, but today all Tom, Dick and Harry seems to think that they understand photon. All new physics people who are coming out of graduation, they think they know what photon is. I don't know what photon is. Because he realized, I don't know. Theoretically I have written something, intellectually it is matching the experimental results, everything fine. But he doesn't know, he accepts, I don't know what it is. What it is, I don't know. You use the words, if it is required, you use the word Jivatma, Paramatma, whatever it is. But within you, you should acknowledge that I don't know what it is. Otherwise, what will happen? For some functions or where people meet, I usually see this. Wherever people gather, they will start discussing everything about the world, politics, cricket and everything. And if all the topics get exhausted, finally they will speak of spirituality. This I have seen usually. So what people start doing is, they start speaking of a concept, of some Adhyatma concept. And then the way they speak of Jivatma, Paramatma and Prana and all, it will look as if Jivatma was their best friend or their neighbor. They know Jivatma so well. That is how they will be speaking. You can see from the tone a man speaks, you can see how, with what attitude he is speaking. The speaking will be like, I know what it is. And you will be asserting something. It will be from somewhere, or your own idea, whatever. If you start satisfying yourself with certain philosophical words, you use them for seeking, fine, but if you satisfy yourself with that, then that's a big problem. After that, there is no yoga. For example, you have this Bhagavad Gita subject now, and after 6 months, you have Bhagavad Gita exam. You have exam. In that exam, for the sake of exam, you will have to study so many things. The questions will be of that type only. I don't set the question paper. But the questions will be of that type. What is Sankhya Yoga? Define. Then you have to define Sankhya Yoga. Okay, fine, you define. But within you, you should know that I don't know what Sankhya Yoga is. I am just writing for the sake of my MSc degree. You should know that.